Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
On a mental level, what's self-awareness? Knowing what type of people I like to be with. Knowing who helps me grow and who drains me. That's mental self-awareness. So self-awareness at every level, and then we go into the spiritual consciousness level. That's disconnecting from all these identities and understanding the identity that we are wired for generosity and we're wired to serve. And only in service can we be happy. And that's us on a consciousness level. That's the identity of consciousness. Like water is wet, the sun is heating and light. Consciousness is service. Like that's how it fits.
Why are we wired for that?
We're wired for that because all of us as consciousness have been designed, and we see it since like even kids. Like I was giving this example of this beautiful, and you may have seen it. It went viral on Instagram. It was this little girl, probably about 2 years old, watching a cartoon, and she takes a handkerchief, and the cartoon character's crying, and she goes up to the television and she tries to wipe it up, right? And it's incredible because this girl's 2 years old and she thinks this cartoon character animal's crying, and she gets a real tissue and tries to wipe it on the TV. Obviously it doesn't work. And there's another one that I saw with this statue of this rabbit, and there's like 4 rabbits and one rabbit's like falling off the end, and this little boy is trying to push the rabbit up, but it's a stone rabbit, it's just a statue, but he's trying to help it back up. So we see, and there was a great article in Wired about this, about how we're wired for generosity. Our brain is happier in service. This whole world is almost a school, an education system to make us realize that one truth. And we see that when we're serving, when we're doing that, we feel genuine happiness. But when we're trying to gain and greed and power and strength, we even feel empty as it slips through our fingers. So the why is because that allows us to connect to our deepest self, the happiest self that we have. And modern studies have shown that. So Michael Norton at Cambridge University, he did a study where they gave people $5, $10, $20 to spend on themselves. Have you seen this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then they spent $5, $10, $20 on others. So people spent $5, $10, $20 on makeup, Starbucks, and normal stuff, right? That was the three makeup, Starbucks, and then something else, I can't remember. And then people who spent on other people, they also bought the same stuff. Starbucks was still in there, and they're buying all this stuff. What they found is that when people self-assess their happiness before and after, without knowing about this A/B test, people who spent the money on themselves didn't feel any happier or any less happier. But the people that spent on others felt 10 to 20% happier. And then he went and tried this out. This was a college in the United States. They then went and did it in Africa. They did it all over the world. And the stats and the pattern showed the same.
Wow.
That we're wired for generosity. We're wired to serve. To make us realize that that's our real nature. That's our greatest self-awareness.
You could be rich, man, but you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man. Somebody taught this to me a long time ago. He said, Steve, in order to get to the life of your dreams, you're gonna have to learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you hear people say all the time, I don't wanna do nothing that I'm not comfortable with, this person's in trouble. Because whatever your comfort zone is, if you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. If your comfort zone is this big and you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you'll fail. In order to succeed in life, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. But I want to tell you something about yourself. All of you are equipped to live outside of your comfort zone. See, a lot of people are afraid to jump. A lot of people are afraid to take chances. A lot of people are afraid to put things up for risk. And you shouldn't be. Now, you can be afraid, but you should learn how to go ahead anyhow. See, because let me show you something about yourself. For all the bad days you've ever had, for every day that you thought you wasn't gonna get through, for every period in your life You did not see no way you could come out on the other side. Your track record for surviving them bad days is 100%. You have survived every single one of them. Your track record for surviving bad days, y'all, is 100%. And that's pretty good. You can't name one bad day you ain't got through. I have a life of convenience now. But in order to get the life of convenience, you got to have a very uncomfortable life. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Stop trying to do everything the short way. Stop trying to figure out the easy way. You got to get messed up sometimes. You got to get dirty. You got to get your feelings hurt. You got to get disappointed. You got to get told no. You're going to ask somebody for some money. He going to tell you no. But show me something that has grown into something beautiful that didn't have no dirt on it. You take a seed and throw it on the concrete. Don't put no dirt on it and watch what happens. See, you get tripped out because you got dirt on you. But you need dirt on you to develop. Because dirt ain't just dirt. Dirt is fertilizer. Dirt is nutrients. Dirt gives you the strength for your seed to push through. See, you got to have dirt on you to push through something. Everything you see that's beautiful starts out as a seed, but that seed got to get dirt on it. See, you get mad when haters come your way. You get mad because you get a setback. You get mad because you get thrown off course. You get mad because you get a detour. That's just dirt. You get mad because they talking about you. That's dirt. You get mad because you lost your mama. That's dirt. I want you to think about all them bad moments you had that looked like you wasn't gonna make it. And then I want you to ask yourself, well, why did I make it? Just change your mindset. If you change your attitude, you change your altitude.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.
I felt like saying to you this week, if somebody can walk away from your life, let them walk away.
When people can walk away from you, let them walk.
Some of you, you are taking too much time trying to convince people to love you that do not matter. Some of you are taking way too much time tolerating and trying to get people engaged that don't matter, that don't care, that are never ever gonna help you get into your destiny.
God has a script for you to go by. You will not accept God's script because you are allowing weaknesses, mistakes, traumas, who didn't love you, who wasn't there for you, who didn't stand by you, to define you, and you are letting the enemy script you.
Don't let fear hold you back from doing what you truly love. Commit to your vision and be the CEO of your future.
You shouldn't have to convince anybody to love you. If they can walk, let them go. We spend so much time wasting energy. So you got to make sure that when rejection hits you, you don't let it get in you. What if I told you that some of the rejection you have been facing in your life, it's because people are jealous of what's on your life? What if I told you that the rejection is simply an indication that you got favor on your life? You just got to understand there's more to know. Come on, somebody. There's more to know.
God has a definite agenda for your life. He is setting you up for a great move. He wants to move mightily in your life. There are some things that only you can do. You are distinctly different from anybody else. You are forbidden to imitate other people. You are forbidden to copy other people. You have been marked. When God wanted you, he created you. If he'd have wanted Sally, he'd have created Sally. If he'd have wanted Jimmy, he'd have called Jimmy. If he'd have wanted Ted, he'd have called Ted. When he called you because he wants you. You never have to be stressed out trying to be anybody other than yourself. He wants you.
I don't know what's going to happen to you in life, and you can't dictate that and you can't control that. All you get to control is how you respond to what happens to you in life. Because there's no escaping rejection. There's no escaping hearing the word no. If you're going to actually live your life to do something bigger than yourself, you should get used to hearing no, but you shouldn't let no stop you. And if you're not careful, you will allow situations in this life to cloud your perspective. And you will allow moments in this life to take away the hopes and the dreams of tomorrow. Failure, it's not final, it's formative, it's part of the journey.
A lot of people are afraid to build from the ground up because we are shown instant success, overnight wonders. Somebody put something on YouTube and they exploded and now they're famous. And then we got people who are famous for being famous. It used to be you were famous because you did something. Now you're just famous. You're just famous. But the first thing God said wasn't be famous, it was be fruitful.
Listen to me carefully. One thing, one person, one offense, one hurt can begin to so consume you that you can lose your destiny. You can be destroyed because you won't let it go. Maybe they did do you wrong, but don't let the bad eat up the good in the rest of your life. Maybe you were abused, but don't let the bad eat up the good.
I have been betrayed so many times that when you don't betray me, I'm shocked. I'm scared to believe that you might be real. Is there anybody in here that understands what I'm talking about? I have been through so much, man.
You were not meant to faint. You were not meant to collapse. You were not meant to have a nervous breakdown, a stress attack, a migraine headache, break out in nervous conditions and rashes and all types of disease and hypertension and have stress attacks and heart attacks and nervous breakdowns. You were not meant to lose it, lose control, break out, kick the dog, slap the cat, kill the children, beat the wife, dog the children. You were not meant to be a failure. You were not meant to be destitute, to be lonely, to be hungry, to be isolated, to be driven. You were meant to be the head and not the tail, above all and not beneath. You were meant to prosper and live in goodly houses. Touch somebody and tell them you don't even know who I am.
Life is short. It's too short to live depressed. It's too short to live anxious. I want to challenge you tonight to get up. That you're not quitting tonight. That one day it is appointed unto all men to die. But that is God's responsibility, not mine. But I want to say to you, get up. Your future is brighter than your past. I want to say to you in the balcony, get up. Your ladder is greater than your former. I want to say to every person in this room, get up, because the best is still yet to come.
When people share good news about their life, people don't necessarily respond positively. No, they don't get encouragement. And people need so little encouragement. It's just unbelievable. And so they'll tell me something good, and I'm like, God, that's so good. You know, somebody says, oh, I'm getting along way better with my father. I haven't seen him for 10 years, and now we get along. It's like, God, great. And then the power of that, you can't overstate the power of that for individuals to get their life together. The individual is an unbelievably powerful force, and every single person who gets their act together a little bit has the capacity to spread that around them. It's a chain reaction, and so it's a lovely thing to see.
How you hold yourself in the small things of life. Build the character winning blocks of the things that we'll remember for. It begins right now with no one looking, man. How you hold yourself, how you see yourself. What do you do when no one's watching? Success is not, a marathon of life with just ups. Success is formulated through failures, through facing your fears, through falling down and getting back up. That's what creates a champion. Success does not define us. We define the success.
How are you gonna learn if you don't ever fail? You think you can only learn from success to success? No, failure is fuel for your future. The only time you fail is the last time you try. You need to get the right perspective on it, because this failure, it will not end in death, but this failure is a part of you being formed.
There's some things in your life, things that you desire, and I want you to get up this morning in a spirit of being thankful, because you know that's going to happen. It's going to happen. It might not happen when you want it to happen, but it's going to happen. When you just set up camp and reside in that place of gratitude, of being thankful, appreciate what you want and what you have, and focus on the possibilities ahead.
Negative thinking is a major problem. You can eradicate negative thinking from your life. Now, it's not going to say you're not going to ever have a negative thought. That's not human. I have them, but I don't have them nowhere near as frequent as I used to because I learned what they are, how they work. I get rid of them. I don't have time for you. I'm on a positive track. If you're trying to be successful or happy, you have no room for negativity. Big thinking gets rid of negativity. Dreams and visions gets rid of negativity.
Here's what I want to share with you, and I'm encouraging you to do. I'm encouraging you to talk to yourself, to encourage yourself, that you're more than able, that you're capable of changing things in your life. You are capable of overcoming anything that's standing in your way. You are capable of creating miracles. You have miracle working power in you. You are capable of dealing with adverse circumstances and growing through whatever life throws at you.
Now, what you cannot do is bury yourself by using your success compared to other people. See, because here's the danger. Let me teach you this. Success is not how far you got. Because see, you're going to be disappointed all the time. Because somebody always further than you. So now you'll forever be disappointed. Success ain't how far you got. Success is how far you got from where you started. What really changed my life, man, was I got in Amway when I was about 24. They introduced me to self-help books. And I read 2 books that changed my life. It was The Power of Positive Thinking and The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. But The Magic of Thinking Big was huge for me. It just taught me one simple principle. It don't cost no more energy to think big than it does small. So if the Bible is true, which it says a man is as he thinketh, if you think poor thoughts, you got to be poor. The moment you change that thought, you start the process to becoming wealthy or rich. I mean, it's really how it works. People complicate it, but Bible's pretty plain. All you got to do is believe it's talking to you. That I come to give you life and give you life more abundantly. You don't think he talking to you? You ain't got to be rich to have an abundant life. Sometimes you just need to be healthy, happy. You don't need a few million. I did, but to be honest, it didn't make me happy. It really didn't. Need God to be happy. I'm just telling y'all from a hood perspective what I did to get here. If you don't believe me, you ain't got to. But I made it.
We wonder why we don't have any strength, why we can't get ahead. It's because our thoughts are limiting us. You can't think defeat and have victory. Your life is going to follow your thoughts. You need to think power thoughts. Victory starts in our mind. Breakthroughs, new levels, depends on our thinking. I'm worried about my finances. I'm stressed over my children. That's drawing in more negativity. You'll be amazed at what will happen if you'll start thinking power thoughts. You'll feel strength rising up, courage, determination. Proverbs 4 says, be careful what you think because your thoughts run your life. Are you thinking power thoughts, well-able thoughts, or are you thinking defeated thoughts? You're choosing which direction your life is going to go. Don't just think any thought that comes to mind. If it's negative, fearful, don't give it the time of day. Thoughts whisper, nothing good is in your future. If you dwell on that, you'll miss your destiny. When you're in tough times, the enemy will work overtime trying to convince you that the problem is too big. He knows if he can keep you defeated in your thoughts, then he can keep you defeated in your life. When thoughts tell you it's never going to change, instead of thinking those weak thoughts, turn it around. Yes, this problem is big, but I've been armed with strength for every battle. What God started in my life, He's going to finish. But if you're believing these lies that it's too much, then you're going to feel overwhelmed and you'll get stuck where you are. This is what happened to the Israelites. Moses sent 12 men to spy out the promised land. 10 came back and said, Moses, we'll never defeat them. They look like giants. We don't have a chance. God had already promised them the victory. But notice what they were thinking. Weak, limiting, fearful thoughts. Joshua and Caleb came back with a different report. Yes, the people are big, but we know our God is bigger. Joshua and Caleb weren't any bigger than the other spies. The only difference was their thinking. 10 men infected the rest of the people. They ended up wandering in the desert for 40 years. Don't get infected and miss your destiny. Like the Israelites, God has already promised you the victory. It may be tough now, but keep the right perspective. Victory is in your future. Abundance, freedom is coming your way. I'm asking you to be a Joshua. Think can-do thoughts. Think victory thoughts. Look at how big your God is. That obstacle is no match for Him. When you believe, all things are possible. Get your thoughts going in the right direction. You're not fighting this battle on your own. You have the most powerful force in the universe fighting for you, keeping that sickness from taking you out, moving the wrong people out of the way. I will overcome this obstacle. I will rise out of lack and struggle. When you think like that, the creator of the universe goes to work. It's significant that the 10 spies were negative and 2 were positive. 80% of people will be negative, 20% will be positive. You can't just fit in and be afraid like everyone else, be negative like that neighbor. God is looking for some Joshuas, people that stand out, people that aren't discouraged by how big the opposition is. Negative thinking is contagious. All around us, there's negative news. Analysts telling us what could happen, how it may get much worse. It's good to be informed, but you can't let that poison stay in your spirit. Isaiah 8 says, do not think like everyone else. Do not fear anything except the Lord God Almighty. You don't have to fear the virus, fear the future. Just keep honoring God and He will keep you safe. He'll do what medicine can't do. He'll turn that child around. When the majority is afraid, negative, you have to be on the offensive and say, no, I'm not falling into that trap. I'm going to think power thoughts. I was out riding my bike the other day, and most of the route is flat, but there's this one very big hill. I like to exercise, enjoy the challenge, but this particular day I was tired. About 10 minutes into my ride, I started thinking, I don't want to go up that hill. I don't want to have to push, wondering if I could make it up it. At one point, I received a phone call. I started talking as I was riding. About 20 minutes later, I hung up. I thought, okay, I don't want to go up that hill. When I looked around, I realized I had already gone up the hill. But because I was distracted, not convincing myself that I couldn't do it, I made it up the hill with no problem. I didn't feel any more tired. I don't even remember going up it. I wonder how many times we're telling ourselves what we can't do. We're dreading things, thinking these weak, defeating thoughts, when the truth is you have already been equipped to handle it. When God created you, He put in you everything you need to fulfill your destiny. When you get to that hill, you're going to discover, like I did, it's going to be easier than you thought. Every morning when you wake up, you need to power up. This is going to be a good day. I am strong. I am confident. I have the favor of God. I'm excited about my future.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Don't ever feel ashamed of the scars life has left you with. A scar signifies that the hurt is over and the wound is closed. It signifies that you can overcome the pain, learned the lesson, grew stronger, and moved forward. A scar is the tattoo of a victory to be proud of. Don't let your scars hold you captive or cause you to live in fear. You can change how you perceive them. You can start seeing your scars as a sign of strength. Start seeing your scars as a sign of strength rather than pain. You never know when you are just one day away from achieving your dream. You never know when you are one project away from the promotion. And you never know when you are 1 hour of studying away from passing the exam. That's why you should keep going and have faith. That's why you keep trying. That's why when you fall down, you should get up again and again and again. Because the truth is, too many people quit before even giving themselves a real chance. They stop because it isn't happening fast enough or how they thought it would work out. Remember that all good things take time. Be patient, and your time will come.
Listen, getting successful, whatever you consider successful, if it's rich, whatever, it's not a magic trick.
Your greatest victories, your greatest failures, but nevertheless, you must rise above it and you must conquer every obstacle that comes your way.
The same reason that people stay in relationships where they're abused or they're unhappy or it's unfulfilling. They can't see themselves beyond that relationship. They can't see themselves enjoying life without that person. They think that this is all that they can do.
You have a say-so in that. You can decide to be rich, and with God's help, it's highly doable. But you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. I'm no better than none of y'all. I'm not a better person than you. I'm not a better Christian than you. God don't love me more than you. None of that. If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change. Listen to me. It's not what makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. The fact of it is, though, it's very doable. See, but you got to change, though.
Are you strong enough? Are you willing enough? Do you have what it takes to do what's necessary to adapt and overcome? This is the moment that every living person that is at the start line is ready to cross the finish line. Along this journey, you will be pushed. You will be knocked down, but you don't stay down. You must rise up. You must carry on. You must dig deep. You must fight forward. You fight to the end. If you feel weak, find a way to rise up. If you feel you can't carry on, then you must find another way to push on. If you get knocked down, then you crawl. If you can't crawl, then you roll. You don't stop. You push up. You go forward. You work hard. You keep going.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours alone. It's 2 people born in a hospital every day. It's a person that's born in a hospital that's going to get a job, and somebody born in a hospital that's going to give them a job. You get to decide which one you're going to be. You get to decide.
Weakness is not your profession. Giving up is not your profession. Doubting yourself is not your profession. Fear is not your profession. Not finishing what you start is not your profession. Your true profession is to seek your greatness, because your greatness is within you. Tomorrow is not your friend. Yesterday has nothing to do with your possibilities. Now, focus on what is necessary and get the job done what's in front of you. At this moment, right here, right now, that is all that matters. This is what you must do.
The same reason that people get stuck at a certain level in life. They can't see things being better for them. And they think that this is it and this is all they deserve. This is all they've ever seen. It's been passed on to them. And they think that this is it for them. Oh, no. I'm looking what Dr. Blanton, Smiley Blanton, who is a colleague of Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, what he said about fear. He said, fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear put people in the hospital. Fear can aid you. Fear, ladies and gentlemen, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you. And it seemed like you're in a hypnotic spell.
Real, so you watch it on TV so you can get inspired. And so Warren Buffett, everybody's sitting down, Warren Buffett walks in the room, and when Warren Buffett walks in the room, it blows my mind. I'm like, yo, this dude is human. I'm like, I've been seeing him all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you see celebrities, they always photoshopped. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you see celebrities, it's like Oprah hair always intact on the thing. I ain't never seen Oprah hair out of tack on one of the, like her magazine. She come on TV, got the everything. Warren Buffett walked in, he wasn't on TV. He wasn't Photoshopped. He was human. You know what I'm saying? He was human. You could see like the skin color, you know what I'm saying? The blemish, like you could see it. He came in, he didn't have on a Pat Riley suit. Like he didn't come in with an Italian suit on. He came in with like a normal, I'm like, that's a normal suit. I'm like, that's Sears and Roebuck. I know Sears and Roebuck. That's a Sears and Roebuck suit.
And I ask you a question, what is the benefit? What's the benefit of allowing fear to hold you back? What's the benefit of giving up on yourself, of not stepping out on life and taking life on? What is the benefit for you? What's the plus in that? It's one of the things I had to ask myself. So I didn't want to make any mistakes. I wanted everybody to like me. I wanted to be perfect the first time I did something. It's not going to happen. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to hurt some folks' feelings. You're going to create some enemies whenever you decide that you want to begin to take life on. You've got to ask yourself, how long am I going to allow this to hold me back? I like what Zig Ziglar says. He said, fear is false evidence appearing real. That is an illusion that we create in our mind. It is a state of mind that can be changed.
You know what's so crazy? He could wear a Sears and Roebuck suit because he was already one of the richest men in the world. He didn't have to come in and impress nobody. He didn't have to come in and prove that he was rich because we know he's rich. I'm like, what an amazing feeling. Like you can be your authentic self. Like Warren Buffett didn't have to come in because some other guys came in and they had their suits that he didn't have on. And they had the $1 million watches that he didn't have on. And they had the shoes that he wasn't wearing. Come on. This was Warren Buffett. Like I saw his shoes. I'm like, yo, you can get those at Macy's. I'm looking at my man like, them some Macy's shoes, right? Those not even like Gator, you know, like you got to get them imported from Italy. I was like, I see, matter of fact, I've seen those exact shoes at Macy's. He had a normal tie on. He didn't have it all the way up. He didn't have a Pat Riley like cut. It was just a normal button up. And one of them was buttoned, one wasn't. And he came in the room and he's not GQ. So he wasn't trying to act like he came in to give financial advice.
Conception does not guarantee manifestation. And what I mean by that is, bird and a fish created by God. The fish was created to do what? Swim. So fish do not attend swimming lessons. I know it sounds simple, but it's very important. Why? Because swim is built into the fish. Why? Because God demanded the fish to swim. So he put the ability in it. Birds were designed by God to fly. So birds don't attend flight school. Flight is built in. I like this one. Seeds. Seeds were designed by the Creator to bring forth trees. You'll never find a seed attending a tree growing convention to learn how to grow trees. Why? Where's the tree? Trapped on the inside. In other words, whatever God created something to do, he built it in. Your culture and your educational system doesn't allow you to discover that. We are educated to be employed, not to be deployed. Seeds deploy themselves and become trees. Fish deploy themselves and they swim. Birds deploy themselves and they fly. We are the only creatures God created who don't deploy ourselves because our culture doesn't allow it. Gotta get free from the culture. And it's seminars like this that make you begin to have a meeting with yourself. Discuss yourself with yourself and say to yourself, self, am I who I really am? You know, here's my conviction. This is why I believe that buried in every human being is a leader, trapped by an erroneous philosophy that you were born to follow. Let us make man to have what? Dominion. To govern, to rule, to lead, control. Which means that somewhere inside of you is a ruler, a controller, a leader, a dominator. Somewhere in there, because he would not have demanded it if he didn't inject it. Which means that your ability is determined by your responsibility. Your potential is designed by your purpose. Your potential is equal to what you were born to do. The best example I can give you is this car. Look at this car. All cars have what they call a speedometer. Am I right? Well, here's an old one, old Chevy. Now, if you look at the numbers have to 160 miles per hour this car can travel. All of your cars have that kind of registration, sometimes 200, 180. Everybody got that, right? Okay. Now, when you bought the car, that was on the car. You bought the car with it. It was on it, 180 miles per hour. I'm getting ready to go. Okay. I'm so excited. Okay, so you bought this car, brought it home, and the manufacturer says this car can travel 180 miles per hour. How can the manufacturer put that on there? What makes him so sure that this vehicle could travel 180? That's the first question. The second question is, have you ever traveled 180 in that car? No. Let me tell you how stupid our philosophy of our countries are. We sell a car that could travel 180 and put a sign up 50 miles per hour. It's amazing. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I have no idea how they got this idea. I don't know where it comes from. But it tells you the nature of your culture. Don't try it. They give the company permission to build the capacity, but restricts your ability to use it. And you never thought about that. And that's the way they think about you. So all your life, you can make 180. But you've been traveling for 50 years at 60 miles per hour, and you think you're living. The capacity is present. Our culture says you can't go any further. And God says, press the accelerator. And your culture says you can't go any further. You can go no faster. You got to make a decision tonight, see?
I love my mother, but I'm not giving my mother control over my life. My mom got control of her life. She don't get to have control. Oh, somebody missed what I said. My mom don't have the right to tell me what to do with my life. My mom trained me, and I'm on my own now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So number two, you got to get this. The only way you're going to get to where God would have you to go is to have control, because God has given you the freedom of choice, and he ain't gonna make you do nothing. So number two, I need you to take the control back so you can get what God has for you. Now here's the third thing, and we're gonna get to the message that God told me to tell you. God told me to tell you to stop making plates for people who just trying to take it to go. Write that down. No, God told me to tell you, stop making food for folks that just wanted to go plate. He told me to tell you that. There's somebody in the room, your life is screwed up because you making food for people who just wanted to go plates. You are a great good person. You phenomenal. You got it going on. You making all these great meals, and it's a whole bunch of people coming to your house. And listen to me very closely. My grandma taught me when I was young. My grandma had 14 kids who all had kids. And my grandma said, I will cut you. You can eat as much food as you want at the house. But if I swear if one of y'all little jokers take some out this house, you get in the business in front of your mama. In front of your, because I used to whip their butt. I'm whipping your butt too. With a switch. Don't take no food out of my house. You can eat as much as you want when you here. share, but do not pack a plate. And most of y'all running with people who, when you fix food, they come to your house and take it to go plate. They don't bring nothing. They're not trying to help you. All they in your life to do is take. And you wondering why your life messed up, because you with takers. You done made a whole spread, and they just coming in. They can't even say, they don't have the decency to say hi and thank you. You so ignorant, though. You just so geeked to have them coming and so-and-so came to my house. I'm so glad they came over. Listen to me. I promise you there's some other folks who cooking or who would bring at least something to drink and some cups that would love to come to your house. You ain't got to put up with that mess. And so in 2019, God told me to tell you, your life gonna go to a whole nother level if you just get rid of folks who bringing in to-go containers. You already know who they are too. As soon as I said it, you already knew who you like to see. They'll never bring that. You didn't even notice at first until it came in the atmosphere. Then all of a sudden you was like, you're right. They always taking. And I tell my babies all the time, it ain't nothing wrong with helping, but you can't help when you ain't got nothing. You got to have something first before you can help somebody. I couldn't do this if I was broke. The plane tickets cost money. The hotel I'm staying at in Buckhead costs money. I couldn't do this if I was broke. I couldn't be a blessing of you if I was broke. And most of y'all, you broke and you trying to bless somebody when you broke. You ain't that desperate for company. You can't be that desperate to have somebody at your house. And he keep eating at your house but going to stay at her house. I'm just trying to help somebody. She coming to get a plate from your house, but she's sleeping at his house. Ain't nothing wrong with getting the plate, boo, but you're gonna have to stay. You're gonna have to at least stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put it in so you can understand. And so God is blessing you, but the little resources you got, you're giving them away. So what you're gonna have to learn how to do is you're gonna have to learn to bring people in your life.
You know, you gotta pick certain things that motivate. The number one motivating thing for me, and I'm just being honest, was I was sick and tired of being poor. I was just exhausted. My mother was poor, my father was poor, my brothers and sisters were poor, all my friends were poor, all my relatives were poor. I lived in a poor neighborhood, we lived in a poor house. I was just like, wow, man, I watch TV. And I would see, like at Christmas time, my father would put us in the car and take us out to the suburbs to see the Christmas lights. And I would see these big houses, man, with lights all on them, and they had horseshoe driveways where you just pull in and go all the way around. That was amazing to me. You know, we would pull up in the driveway, got a back out. You know, I've been doing that. And I kept saying, I told my father, I said, Dad, I said, why don't we get one of these houses? He said, boy, I ain't got no money for this kind of house. He said, but if you work hard, keep going to church like your mama say, you can make some money, you can buy you one of these houses. That was it. My motivation was to buy a big house so I could put up Christmas lights and drive in the driveway. And I'm gonna tell you something. Every home I have, every house I've ever owned or built, you got to pull in one way and drive all the way around to come out there. I have never built, lived, or owned a home that did not have that driveway with gates on both sides. Never. That was the biggest motivating. So my advice is you have to find a dream that's so big that it overwhelms all of your fears and causes you to never give up. Now you're gonna think about quitting no matter what you do. I mean, I've thought about it many times, but I always just kept thinking about that house. And I've always dreamed of buying my mother and father a real house. And you know, and before they died, I was able to do all of that.
Hi, welcome back to Mind Control.
When you hear the word fear, what comes into your mind? Maybe you see yourself walking down the street calmly until someone covers your mouth and you pass out. Then you are tortured and killed. Or you might be afraid of losing your job, or wife, or a special friend. On the other hand, some people are afraid of trying new things. You might be a man who is not starting his business due to the fear of failing. Everyone is afraid of something, and while it isn't a bad thing, being afraid of something can retain you from living. You end up getting depressed and anxious all the time. It keeps you separate from your loved ones, and it can limit your will to try and freeze you in your tracks. You might be thinking why I said fear is not a bad thing. Well, let me tell you that fear is an early signal of something dangerous. However, you need to figure out the difference between healthy fear and an unhealthy one. One example of healthy fear is when your mind tells you to step away from an edge of a dangerous cliff. And unhealthy fear is the one that keeps you from living your life. You start thinking that fears are a part of who you are. However, you need to understand that your fears don't represent your true self. In the end, let me tell you that you cannot keep running away from your fears. You will ultimately have to face them. You will have to overcome your fears. There is no other option. So don't let yourself drown in your fears and start overcoming them today. You will never overcome your fears if you are not ready to face them. You need to stop fears from taking control of your life.
Thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Please also like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and families. Please watch our other motivational videos. Thank you again.